Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I have to share this with you because this is absolutely appalling. This is shocking and appalling, and I can't really believe this is happening. I don't think it has officially happened yet, but basically the US Department of Education is declaring that being a nurse practitioner, I believe a PA, they're saying that this is no longer considered a professional job. Nurses who take care of the sick in hospitals and nursing homes. Do you know how hard it is to pass those tests? Do you know how many people have gone into depression and panic attacks because they literally cannot pass that test? It's a very hard test, okay? You have BSN, ADN, some RNs have college degrees, 4 years of education. Okay, then getting their masters, you have to know science and math. You have to know medicines. In some cases, there are nurses saying we have trained some doctors who didn't even know certain things that they should know. And nurses are crucial for our country to run, period. When disasters, COVID, and so much more happens, you need a nurse. So this makes no sense how our country in some areas is regressing instead of progressing. Why? This makes no sense. The country is supposed to get better and advance, have more opportunity and more money coming in for people so that the country can be better. Why would you? It just makes no sense. Now, I don't know if this has officially happened, but it has been announced that this is what they're proposing. This is what they want to do. And they're saying that there will be less funding and it will be harder to become a nurse. And a lot of Black women are saying, because you see so many Black women who are nurses, who are in healthcare, making 6 figures and more, getting out of poverty and doing the damn thing, that they believe that this is racism. Some are saying it's sexism and racism because, not all nurses are Black. The nursing field is diverse. You have a lot of women who are Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian who are nurses. You have a few men who are nurses as well. So this affects everybody. But you have certain areas where it's mostly Black women doing it. You have a lot of Hispanic women and Asian women in California, and you have a lot of Black women who are travel nurses working 3 days and making so much money. And women, period, whether Black or white, are saying, no, this is about coming after women because the nursing industry and healthcare, so much of it is dominated by women. And some people they're blaming social media some because, okay, you have a lot of Black women who are showing other Black women, get your nursing degree, become an RN or become an LP and an RN, be a nurse practitioner. Look at how much money we're making. We're traveling. We're getting houses. Okay. We're getting the best of the best. And, we look fabulous doing it. Okay. We're doing it. We're doing the damn thing and we're getting out of poverty. And some people feel that, oh, this is because people are seeing how well a lot of Black women are doing. Some people are saying, oh, did they try to bring down, when I saw those videos I had showed of the woman saying, y'all are coming on here with these nails and stuff and you're making the profession not look professional. Some people were saying that, but overall, look, you can't be a nurse if you don't know what the hell you're doing. You have to do the damn thing, learn those medicines, be good in math and science, pass the NCLEX test and all of that, because you're dealing with the public and safety and knowing how many units medicine to give someone, helping the doctor, and a lot more. And women are saying, no, it's the Project 2025. They don't want us to be independent because we're making so much money. We don't have to rely on men, and we're getting homes and cars and traveling, and we're getting everything we want with having the salary. And nurses should be paid what they're getting, and even more in some cases, because our country and the world depends on nurses, not just doctors. So this is absolutely insane. So let's see what she is saying, okay? And I want to show you something else that I really think y'all need to see before we get even more into it.
So I don't know if you saw, but the Department of Education has determined that nursing will no longer be considered a professional degree. It's more of a theoretical degree in their opinion, meaning that it's more based on theory and process than it is on an actual skill set. What that really means in application is that they will no longer offer funding or student loans to go into a nursing profession. That's what it really means. It's targeting not getting women educated, because the majority of the people in that field are women. And they're basically stripping all funding from you to go to school to be a nurse. Not really sure what they're thinking in their head, because when those old fart men, they're making all these decisions, out of their misogynistic needs, end up in the hospital, who the fuck's going to take care of them? Because without a nurse, what are you supposed to do? Because I can tell you that the educated doctors are not going to lift you out of the chair and wipe your butt. They leave that to the nurses to do. So I hope that backfires on you in a big way.
And it will. And it absolutely will. There is nothing you can do that's going to make women... Look, you want us women to crawl on our knees and get with men who are broke and poor, don't have nothing, to suffer for them and pop out kids? It makes no sense. Women are not unhappy because... Let me get my words right, okay? You see, women have been very vocal on social media about what they're going through in their relationships and within their marriages with men. Very common themes, like a lot of us are dating or have gone through the same thing with men. So why do you care if a woman can work and make money? Why don't y'all do the work and become better as a gender? Okay, I'm not saying every man is horrible, but it's like you don't want to listen, you don't want to change, and now, okay, I have power, so let me try to make things hard for you. Like she said, what do you think is going to happen when you're sick? When you get old? You love your mother? You love your father? When they get old, they have to go in nursing homes a lot. And if they're at home, they need home health. They need a nurse. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Why are you trying to ruin the country, ruin society, and make America like a third world? Use your brain. Take your feelings out of it. Use your damn brain. If this happens, you are regressing and you're hurting people. People need a nurse when they go to the hospital or into nursing homes. You make no damn sense. Whoever is deciding this. I don't know if nurses are going to protest nationwide in American people, because this is craziness to me. Absolutely craziness. Okay, you think you can get women to not get educated. My thing is with men, if y'all have such a problem that women are working, why haven't you raised the salaries of men so that they can take care of families? Men who want to get married, find a wife, and they're making six figures. Y'all keep raising all these prices, but not wages. We don't want to live in poverty with you. I don't want to stay stuck in the house barefoot and not being able to have things I want and worrying about the rent constantly and barely able to survive with inflation and stuff. And you have nothing. And it's crazy to me, because if y'all are so pissed about it and y'all running everything because of the patriarchy, why the hell haven't you changed something so that men can actually take care of their damn families and not be broke and poor and making women's lives miserable? And it's not just that. I mean, some women want to go out. They want to go to restaurants. They want to travel. You end up dating a man who doesn't want to do any of that. He doesn't want to give you no damn money, and he runs and rules you like a slave. Then yeah, it's misery type of thing. So I don't know. So before I show you more videos of what nurses and NPs are saying about this, what they're trying to do, literally, I wanted to show you this video that I stumbled on, because a lot of nurses, well, you work with the public, and I kept seeing them saying, oh, make sure you have your PRRP or PRE or something when you're sticking needles or working with blood. Look at what just happened. This is a little bit off topic, but I know nurses are watching this video, baby. I just had to share this story with you real quick, and then we're going to get more into it.
I'm a CNA, and I come with news. Not good news, but bad news. Down in Louisiana, there's a male CNA, age 45, was sleeping with a female resident, and she was age 62. The female resident had HIV. The male CNA did not know that the female had HIV, and he was sneaking around with her. Apparently, they've been doing it for about 3 months overnight, because that's what shift he works, overnight. And on one day he came in, and his nurse decided to tell them, because they weren't putting on their PPE, so the nurse decided to let him and a few other CNAs know, like, hey, she has HIV. It is not controlled. Y'all need to wear PPE, wear gloves. And my source said when the nurse told them that the male CNA face just went down, like he was just crying, like they were trying to see what was going on. And then he tells them, I've been sneaking around with her. And it all blew up. They called the police. He went to jail. So he done went to jail and caught something. And I want y'all to know, it's going to be a news article, but it's not out yet, because this literally just happened last night. I just got my information this morning. So whenever the article comes, I will post it.
Craziness. Okay, so make sure you're using your PPE, I think he said, and be careful. So look, let's get more into it. I'm going to show you the video clips, but look how much money nurses were making. And you have some people in powerful positions who are salty at how much money a lot of women in nursing are making, okay? And a lot of Black women, again, say, yeah, we're getting out of poverty, we're making this money, and all of a sudden it's no longer considered professional. But they're also coming for nurse practitioners, again, PAs, okay? So this is crazy to me. A lot of them have college educations in nursing and science, and how is it not professional working in a healthcare? Healthcare is professional work. This is insane to me. Okay, so look, it says that nurses in Delaware, the RNs were making $57 an hour. Pennsylvania, $56 an hour. Texas, $53 an hour. Michigan, $50 an hour. Med spa nurses, okay, like $50 an hour, okay? Now, it can vary depending on the state that you're in, but a lot of Black women have been getting into nursing and being in healthcare, and because the money is just great. Of course, you need to have empathy and be a good nurse and all of that, but getting out of poverty, okay, doing the damn thing. So, okay, when they blame social media, I was looking at this and I'm like, oh, maybe they're talking about videos like this where, they're showing how fabulous the life can be in healthcare and how much money they're getting. So she's a nurse practitioner, and she was showing how much she makes in a day. In a day, baby. Do you see that? She has her own practice, I think. Okay. So these women are smart, intelligent, hardworking, and getting paid this damn money in a damn day. Of course, you pay other nurses and staff and everything, but yeah, that's a lot. So let's see what the public is saying about all of this.
What up, Nurse Gang? What up, TikTok? So, missed you guys, but it's back to business. We have some devastating news today on Nurses in the News. We are headed down to DC, where the Department of Education has drafted some new eligibility rules for loans in the professional degree space. So this is your graduate degrees. Guess which profession they left out of the professional degree category? Nursing. They are not recognizing nursing as a professional degree, but still recognizing law, dentistry, and medicine, which means it can affect borrowing power, which means graduate programs cost $70,000 to $80,000. You would need private loans or cash to pay for your own education. The ANA, American Nurses Association, swiftly responded to this. This was a calculated attack. This is not a mistake. Let's take a deeper look into it. Let's look into the key details of the DOE's action. Federal loan eligibility rules. The DOE is in the process of implementing new rules for federal loan eligibility. In the draft of these rules, programs for nursing degrees, specifically graduate level programs, were not included in the definition of professional degree programs, while fields like medicine, law, and dentistry were. Impact on education funding. This exclusion would severely restrict access to critical federal funding for graduate nursing education, such as DNP and PhD programs. This is a statement from the ANA. The American Nurses Association is concerned by the Department of Education's exclusion of nursing from the definition of quote unquote professional degree programs under forthcoming federal loan eligibility rules. This will severely restrict access to critical funding for graduate nursing education, undermining efforts to grow and sustain the nursing workforce. Nurses make up the largest segment of healthcare workforce and the backbone of our nation's health system, said Jennifer Mensick Kennedy, who's the president of the American Nurses Association. She said, at a time when healthcare in our country faces a historic nurse shortage and rising demands, limiting nurses' access to funding for graduate education threatens the very foundation of patient care. In many communities across the country, particularly in rural and underserved areas, advanced practice registered nurses ensure access to essential, high-quality care that would otherwise be unavailable. We urge the Department of Education to recognize nursing as the essential profession it is and ensure access to loan programs that make advanced education nursing possible. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about it.
So apparently nurse practitioner degrees are no longer going to be considered professional degrees under the new Department of Education proposed rules that go into effect next July. MDs and DOs, they are still considered professional. That makes complete and logical sense. However, NPs, not professional. CRNAs, not professional. PAs, not professional. But chiropractors, they are still considered professional under these new proposed rules. However, physical and occupational therapists do not fall under these professional degrees. They are not professional. Speech language pathologists, not professional. Theology and divinity degrees, yes, they are considered professional. However, teachers, the ones who are actually the ones teaching the entire country, are not considered professional. I truly cannot even put into words how much this does not make any sense. As someone who has been studying my ass off for 2.5 years in a doctorate of nursing practice program, completing clinical rotations and managing patients and sacrificing my time, my money, my sleep, and quite frankly, my sanity, to now be told that my profession is not professional is beyond disrespectful to not just NPs, but to every single professional healthcare degree out there. NPs, CRNAs, PAs, PTs, OTs, SLPs, social workers, even teachers. Like, it is so disrespectful in so many ways to not consider these professions professional enough to be worthy of loans. This decision doesn't just impact job titles. It impacts federal loan caps and affordability and access to education and the future workforce. It's all in all very insulting to every single advanced practice provider out there who works on the front line of a very broken system, but still chooses to show up for their patients every single day. So to the Department of Education, I don't know who came up with this list and how you guys decided on which profession is more professional than the others, but please go back and try again.
You know, sometimes I wonder if the people making these policies have ever stepped foot inside of a hospital. Matter of fact, I already know that they don't. Because today, the U.S. Department of Education just proposed a rule that excludes advanced nursing programs. So this includes MSN and DNP programs from being recognized as professional degrees. So translation, medical, dental, and law students get access to higher federal loan limits and benefits. But nurses, who hold lives in their hands every single shift, don't. This rule, and it's a proposed rule, basically says our education doesn't rise to the level of other professions. That's not only insulting, it's dangerous. Because if nurses can't afford to advance their education, the entire healthcare system suffers. We're already short hundreds of thousands of nurses nationwide, and this just makes it harder for people to move into leadership, research, or advanced practice roles. So the American Association of Colleges of Nursing have already spoken out, saying that this decision could gut graduate nursing enrollment and widen the gap in care access. So think about it. Fewer nurse practitioners, fewer nurse anesthetists, fewer educators. After everything nurses have done, fighting a pandemic, covering unsafe staffing, getting assaulted on the job. This is how the federal government says thank you. By devaluing the very profession, keeping the system afloat. So we got to call it what it is. This is an absolute slap in the face to nursing and to every patient who depends on us.
I have a hot take, and this is going to ruffle some feathers, but it needs to be said. Nursing is a professional degree, and you cannot take that away from us. If you haven't already heard, here's the situation. The Department of Education has decided they're going to propose changes to exclude nursing as a professional degree. This isn't just an ego thing where they're taking status away from us. This actually is going to have impact on how nursing students are able to pursue advanced degrees. And whoa, the sun came in, so that feels very serendipitous. Okay, I had to wait for the sun to go away because even though that was very symbolic, I was getting blinded. But by removing nursing as a professional degree, what's going to happen is nurses that want to pursue their advanced practice degree are going to have less access to loans, including loan forgiveness and federal loans. We're going to have less CRNAs, we're going to have less nurse practitioners. People are not going to be able to afford to get their advanced degree as a nurse. I mean, I'll say that when I went back to get my NP degree, I was in my 20s, I didn't have kids, I was working full time. I was able to afford my education without a loan, but I was one of the lucky ones. I didn't have to take out loans undergrad because my parents are amazing and always supported me financially. And I went to grad school without any prior loans and just said to myself, I'm going to work at this hospital for a year, be eligible for that tuition reimbursement. I was able to get $12,000 towards my education through that program every year, every calendar year. That helped to support my finances. But the reality is that if you are a nurse who's been working a long time and you want to go back for your advanced degree for whatever reason, at whatever point in life, and you have kids and a tremendous amount of expenses and maybe loans you're still trying to pay off from undergrad, to not be able to get a loan to be able to advance your degree is going to be such a problem. I'm sure people are going to come for me in the comments, especially those NP haters, those doctors that are always trolling behind a no profile picture type of situation and leaving mean comments and DMs. But this needs to be said, and we need to continue to talk about it so that when they open this up for comments, we can fight our fight.
I don't know about you guys, but the Department of Education just gave us another reason for nurses to leave bedside. This is the exact same reason why nurses are leaving bedside, because guess what? We are being disrespected, bro. How can a master's and a doctorate degree not be considered a professional degree? You are cutting funding. Nurses, we already have a shortage in nursing already. So guess what? You eliminating certain funds for these nurses to go to school, it's just going to create a bigger shortage. And guess what? Heading in the wrong direction.
So the Department of Education's proposal of advanced nursing degrees not being classified as professional degrees, crazy, because how are we going to afford to get these degrees? But I have a counter proposal. Stick with me here, right? So I believe that the numbers, give or take, is about $20K a year if it's not a professional degree that you can borrow. So if your program's 4 years, that's $80,000 you can borrow. So let's go ahead and drop the prices of these programs significantly, because there are programs out here that are like $150, $180K a year. So let's go ahead and drop the price to match what is allotted to be borrowed under the classification of a graduate program and not a professional program. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm thinking schools should be like maybe 50, max, maybe 60,000. I think some CRNAs, aspiring CRNAs would like that, and NPs and PAs. Yeah, let's make school affordable.
If you're a leader of a foreign country, what are your thoughts on PAs or dietitians or nurse practitioners or occupational therapists? Because all of a sudden, it doesn't seem like our country likes us very much anymore, because within the last few weeks, there's been a proposal to remove our professional title. So forget all the patients that we see, forget all the work that we put in, the lion's share of clinical care in this country. Yeah, apparently it's not classified as professional anymore. But you know who is? Chiropractors. Chiropractors are considered. So, puedo hablar español, je parle français. I wonder if anybody else out there would take me.
So earlier this month, the Department of Education released a new proposal that excludes public health degrees, physician assistant degrees, graduate nursing degrees, and other health professional degrees from their newly defined professional degree category. As a student, this would restrict or lessen the amount of loans that you can take out, and so advocacy groups are concerned that this would negatively impact the workforce by making it less financially attainable to pursue these degrees. And who does that affect? Well, all of us, community health, public health, it affects us all. Go read these statements put out by these advocacy groups and just know that this is a proposal, and in the next coming weeks there's going to be a 30-day public comment period that will be put out, so I'll let y'all know when that is too.
The court in California ruled that anybody who has, for example, what is going on with my hair? A DMP, for example, a nurse with a doctorate degree, or literally anyone who has a doctorate degree can no longer call themselves a doctor. This also includes dentists in California who tend to call themselves doctors. They can say that they are a dentist or doctor of dentistry, but they cannot say that they are a doctor, like a physician. And also nurse practitioners. Everyone getting really upset about this. Honestly, as a nurse, I think this is fair. You're still not going to be, that credential is not going to be taken away from you. However, I do agree that you shouldn't call yourself a doctor if you truly are not a physician. What do you think? Leave a comment.
So I don't like to do this, but did you guys know that the Department of Education has now taken nursing completely out of a professional degree program? So if the healthcare system isn't broken enough, and there's not already a shortage of nursing, by doing this, congratulations, you're going to be short 1 million other nurses. By not giving nurses the same amount of reimbursement or like educational loans that you do for other practices that are included in this, like MDs, veterinarians, chiropractors, podiatrists, people aren't going to go to school. So apparently my doctorate that I busted my tushy for is not going to be considered a professional degree. Cool. Oh, and they also did this to teachers too. So basically getting your doctorate for nursing or education is now going to be a waste. So your ER wait time's going to go up. You want your medication? Good luck finding a nurse. You want someone to spend extra time with your kid because they need to be tutored? Good luck finding that higher level of education. Bravo.
Okay, so what does this new bill mean that's going to classify the physician assistant profession as graduate and not professional, and how does it affect student loans? So essentially this new bill that would go into effect next July says that the physician assistant profession is a graduate level program and not a professional level program. So they're going to cap your student loans at $20,500 per year. How does this affect you? Well, I don't know if you have ever talked to a physician assistant about how much money they had to spend to go to PA school, but it is significantly more than $20,500 a year. I wish it wasn't, but unfortunately it is. That's why a lot of us have such mounting student loans. So what does this mean for future students that want to go into the PA profession? It means that when they go to take out a loan to go to a PA program, they're no longer going to be able to take a federal loan. They're going to have to take a private loan, which typically will mean higher interest rates. So in the long term, the students will have to struggle more to pay off these loans. Students starting PA school on or after July 2026 will most likely be more at risk, but if this goes into effect, then it's going to be the future generations to come, essentially. In my opinion, I think that in the long term, this is just going to deter people from wanting to go into the PA profession, which in the long term will result in a shortage of care for patients in the future. To say that I'm disappointed in this bill is an accurate statement. I just can't believe that given how much PAs and NPs are currently doing in healthcare, that this would even be up for debate. PAs bridge the access to cares in so many different specialties across so many different fields. So I'm genuinely so disappointed. Luckily, it doesn't go into effect until next July, so there's plenty of time to sign petitions and hopefully make a change before this becomes a real life situation.
Okay, so I've shared nurses, women in healthcare, their opinions about what's going on. There's a lot more coming. Okay, and now I want to share with you some comments that I saw about this. This is a crisis. This is extremely serious. It's insulting, and it's not right at all. All nurses are going to be affected, of all races and gender who are in this industry. And it just doesn't make sense, again, to work that hard and they're saying it's not professional and want to cut funding. The world has to have nurses. It's crucial. You have to. That's how society stays afloat. People are always getting sick and having emergencies, and elderly people. Okay, it's craziness. This is craziness, okay? So let's see. Okay, this woman says that look how nursing changed her life. She says, I'm a single mama, CRNA, who never received a dime in child support. I graduated school in 2024. If it wasn't for these grad loans, I would have never been able to do this. I have quadrupled my income immediately after graduating, created a college fund for my son, and paid double my student loan payments each month. Not only did this degree create a better life for me and my son, it has forever changed my future generations of my family. It's changed everything. Yes, okay. She says it's racism and sexism. Okay, both together, this is what's going on. Okay, hold on now. What? The Department of Education said that teachers weren't professional. I forgot that part, y'all. They're trying to say that being a teacher is not professional. This is insanity. The people who raise and teach, well, not raise, but teach your children in school to their future. A teacher is not professional. You can't make this up. As a teacher, it feels like such a betrayal. I hope you didn't. Okay, girl, the current administration is trying to close the whole Department of Education. There is no respect coming in from them. This is wild because I see my nurse practitioner more than I see my actual doctor. Okay, licensed clinical social workers are no longer considered professionals. Please get this administration out. Oh my goodness. It's interesting though because the administration tried to close the Department of Education. Okay, they want less nurses because they plan to eliminate rural hospitals and nursing homes by cutting Medicaid. Healthcare jobs are going to shrink, but what's going to happen to all the old people? What's going to happen to old people that have to go to a nursing home? What are you going to have old people sitting on the street corners? Going to the bathroom on themselves and passing away all over the street? Not everybody's families take care of the elderly. Like what? What are y'all crazy? Not doing politics is exactly what got us here. I hope this is a wake-up call that we have a civic responsibility to know what's going on and the impact of our votes and lack thereof. A government for the people, by the people. Social media is part of the problem. Someone said, what do you mean? I think it's because of women, especially Black, glamorizing healthcare and, treating themselves to luxury spas but it wasn't bad. Some of it, a lot of it wasn't bad. In fact, it actually made more women want to get into healthcare. Besides the fact that you do need a heart, you need to have empathy, do your doggone job, but it's not easy. Again, these are educated women. This is a very rigorous, very hard program to pass for a lot of people. Okay, and it's not cheap a lot all the time. So, but seeing them, proud, we're having their nails nicely done, not looking crazy, sipping on their matchas and coffees and drinks and going out to a spa and stuff and just being respected and just, showing, making it look beautiful, even though there's a lot that goes into it. But because I've heard the horrible things in nursing about being overstaffed in places, especially nursing homes, the nurses trying to get you fired. Some people not respecting you when you're a Black woman that's an MP and all of that, and they don't think you deserve to be there or question your education. I've heard these stories. That's not always the case type of thing. And then you have to deal with families that might be racist or the patients calling you the N-word and everything like that. These things happen a lot, especially in nursing homes and everything. So it's not all just peaches. It's a lot that goes on in healthcare, period. But that's not always the case, but it does happen. All right. But she thinks that social media with the nurses making it look glamorous and stuff. Okay, if they did, but I don't know. And they're hating on that is what they're saying, okay? Let's see. Another woman said, the field of nursing is booming, especially for people of color. So now they want to slow it down. Too many of us are going up the ladder and they don't like it. I feel like this is a attack on women because it's a women-led field, and that was the fastest way that most women can gain economic independence. You don't have to depend on a man to pay your rent and to travel where you want to travel, have the best foods you want to eat, the best clothing that you want, a house that you actually wanted, and all of that. Okay, so I'm not saying a man can't do it, but a lot of them these days, they don't want to do it, and some of them can't afford to do it, okay? All right, they better start staffing doctors then as the side, because a lot of doctors don't want to do this work. Oh, no, they don't. A number of them, like when it comes to wiping and all that cleaning and all that stuff. Okay, they said the doctors I work for only show up for codes. Otherwise, they're placing orders at my recommendations via Secure That Chat. They're clueless to how it actually works in clinical settings. They don't basically all even know what they're doing, she says. It's because if you look at the list, those are predominantly male-dominated fields. Nursing is female-dominated. This is a direct attack on women becoming educated. 1 minute we're essential workers, literally carrying the country on our backs, and the next minute we're on our own. How quickly do they forget? They want nurses to stay on bedside, period. They're mad that nurses have other and better opportunities besides bedside nursing. I think with the MD shortages that they're trying to get RNs to go to med school and pay a lot of money and be used as slaves. These MDs are being scammed and being forced to make unethical decisions. So they're doing this to nurses too with less pay. It's all about money and slave labor. Do we all file an OCR complaint to the Department of Education for discrimination? I think, okay, I just read that part. I just showed that. Okay. Respectfully, the anti-female arguments here are dishonest. A straw man argument. Medical school grads are now 50% women. So that argument falls apart. But we need more women physicians and more physicians in general. Former MPs make amazing physicians, and we'd love to add as many of you to the ranks as possible. I agree. A lot of Black women started out as CNAs and became nurses. This is the problem. They want us to stay CNAs and not nurses or nurse practitioners. Wow, this is getting deep. You know, CNAs are crucial. They are crucial and should be respected. I mean, it's back-breaking work. These women have to lift very heavy people and clean them, wipe them, you know, going on the bathroom on yourself, seeing maggots come out of people's sores and stuff and all that, and clean them up, all those type of things. But yeah, a lot of jobs or programs used to help CNAs, I think, become LPNs and then RNs and stuff. And a lot use that to move up the ladder. And because sometimes people don't respect CNAs. They say, oh, y'all the ones who do the cleaning up. But they're crucial. And a number of them go back to school and move up and get even more money. Some people even say it's good to be a CNA first. You know firsthand how to do stuff, and you're really going through it in healthcare. You know, you're right there doing everything, and you learn, and then you go and move up, okay? So, but not everyone wants to do that, okay? But some do. Women are making better grades. Women are financially better off statistically. Women are becoming more independent. Women don't need men. They want them to have to take 3 steps back. If you can't get as much financial aid, you will have to go you'll have to go more financially in the hole, and their ability to be independent will lessen. It's just craziness. They can go ahead and try it. It ain't gonna work. I don't know. And the thing is, a lot of women, look, there are women who want a nice relationship. They want a nice marriage. But if you're not finding it, a lot of women said, F it. I'm going to do what I want and get what I want. I don't have time to wait for the prince to come. It ain't happening. I'm life every day. I'm getting older. Look, I'm just going to do it, and I'm traveling where I want it to go. I'm getting what I want. If a man come, he comes. If he doesn't, just didn't work out that way. But, you know, my life ain't revolving around the man no more. It would be great, a number of women, if, you know, Prince Charming, sweet, good in bed, nice looking, romantic, loving, supportive, and all that, paying the bills and stuff. But that's not happening for a lot of women, and a lot of women are like, I don't have time to wait on this. I'm going to get what I want, you know, without having to depend on someone. Okay, it's going to massively affect the military, nurses recruitment. I was an Army medical recruiter. This means no repayment, bonuses, or master's continuing education programs. Taking it away from nursing and keeping chiropractors is actually insane. I think they consider a chiropractor to still be professional. Okay, but not surprising for people who don't believe in science. Okay, let's see, just a few more. I hope y'all know that this means they're going to start lowering y'all pay. If they start trying to give women less pay, it's going to be a disaster. Because of this, y'all need to fight like hell, because ain't no way we're supposed to feel like it's 1930 when it's 2025. How do you have medicine without nursing? This is crazy. Okay? I'm convinced they're mad that so many nurses are getting their advanced degrees and they can't keep people as RNs. So instead of paying nurses more and staffing appropriately, they're trying to remove access to these degrees. This woman says, but I just started my MSN program. Then, if they don't want to recognize this as a professional degree, then don't recognize my loans. Next. If nursing was a male-dominated field, this wouldn't be in conversation. And it would be crazy. Look, nursing cannot be male-dominated because it's been proven that men could do it, and there are men, but there are a lot of people who said that the men are graping patients, the elderly women, that they're graping the bodies in when you pass away. Okay, I don't know why my mind can't think right now. Y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? Before they cremate you or bury you, that the men are actually graping the dead bodies, and that it's been several cases of men graping the women patients who are unable to speak, in comas, ending up pregnant in comas, or not being all the way there mentally, and next thing you know, she's giving birth, and they're finding out is some of the men working in the facilities graping the women patients in the hospitals and in the nursing homes. So yeah, if men were dominating all of this, it would be even worse, to be honest with you. Not all the time, but in many cases, especially in nursing homes, around those women who can't fight for themselves. They can't fight them. Okay, so all right, nursing is a professional degree. So that is it. That's it, everybody, for this video. I want to know, what do you think about this? The U.S. Department of Education is declaring, or trying to declare very soon, that being a nurse, a school teacher, a NP, a PA is no longer considered, a physical therapist is no longer considered professional. A school teacher is not professional. A nurse that takes care of you when you end up in the hospital and the doctor can't see all of you right away, taking your vitals, giving you the right medicine and dosages, checking everything, assisting the doctor. They are saying that it is no longer professional, and they might be cutting funding where you're unable to become a nurse. And we can already imagine what's going to happen. Okay? Imagine what's going to happen. People all over the street, sick, passing away, especially the elderly. This is craziness to me. Okay, when you run a country, okay, even though I know Donald Trump and them, they wanted to get rid of the Department of Education, but now the Department of Education is doing this. I don't know, but the goal is to be greater and to have our country progress. Okay, progress on all levels, period. So we shall see what happens with this. Let me know what you think in the comment section, because this is not going to be pretty at all. This is a disaster, quite frankly. So we shall see. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell and click all notifications and let me know what you think. Okay?